I'm Dayne Young. That's Brent Rollins. We do Film Don't Lie here for UGAsports.com. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like the Facebook page if that's your jam, watching over there. Every week, starting last week, we are doing a play of the game, a play that caught our attention that we can go super deep diving into it, because most of the time we're talking about a play for about 20, 30 seconds and moving on to the next thing. This particular section of Film Don't Lie, we want to be able to drill deep into a play. And we saw it at the goal line last week with some motion. This one, though, Brent, we had the same reaction of like the play of this game is Brock Bowers being Brock Bowers.
Yes, 100%.
75 yards running. However, I think we've seen it. I didn't know that there was much more we could illustrate to our people of like, this is why this was super meaningful, other than the fact that, this guy's a freak of nature.
Super freak.
Yeah, he's a super freak.
We're going to look at that in the offensive Film Don't Lie.
Yes, so it will be there. We will have that mentioned. But I texted you and I said, I think the play of the game was kind of a nondescript but important throw that happened in the fourth quarter. So let's kind of set up this scenario as I bring the screen share here. So Kent State's crawling back into this game, 10 points down, and on offense just looked pretty good. So this is a 3rd and 6.
By the way,
Georgia had just gotten the ball back.
Yeah, 2 consecutive double-digit play drives, the last of which, right before this, had ended in a touchdown. And this is the 3rd down that, if you do not get, is 3 and out, and your defense is back on the field, only up 10.
Which would have been your first punt of the game. Georgia did not end up punting, but this was close to it at this point. Back in your own territory, 3rd and 6. I think the thing with this, in my head as I was watching it, was the mentality shift of Georgia's offense. Because if I tell you, let's go back to the beginning part of last season, whether it be JT Daniels or even, well, I guess with him when lack of mobility, let's say Stetson Bennett in that spot, would Georgia have called the same kind of play? And I don't think so. I think Georgia would have tried to get him in motion, roll out, have something throwing. But this is something Georgia hasn't done a whole lot of in recent games, which is just a straight up drop back throw. We're seeing more of it this year.
Yep. More and more so, and more of it each week, really. I haven't looked at it and tracked it specifically, but more of it each week. I think you're seeing a lot more empty each week. And what does that tell? What should that tell you as someone who's watching the game? It should tell you that the offensive coordinator trusted the quarterback to put the ball and look to the right spot and put the ball in the right place. That's what it tells you, 100%.
So, again, situational, 3rd and 6. Georgia needs this. They're up by 10, so the game is not, in loose hands here. But the momentum is in Kent State's favor. And if Kent State gets a punt and does another long drive and scores a touchdown, then all of a sudden, a little lemon booty for Georgia late in a game that,
Yeah, sphincters would be tighter.
Yes. So that's the scenario here. Let's get up to what Stetson Bennett is reading and look at the eyes of the defense here. And Brock Bowers just commands its attention, right? And to me, the biggest part of this pre-snap is how this is oriented here. And how can you take advantage of him playing so off the ball with this Dom Blaylock? That's what I think Stetson saw here.
Yeah, and the instant sort of, given the situation, my instant thought as a quarterback is I'm not looking at the bottom of the screen. Like, I'm not looking to my right. I'm looking to my left, because I've got, unless I see true man and the back is being covered by either a linebacker or the deep safety. But for the most part, this guy's not up like in his face. Thus, that's a sort of, zone key in a way. So he's probably playing some form of cover 2 on his side where he is squatting at the first down marker. So I'm instantly looking left.
Here's the route tree here. And again, Rosemead's just kind of run your guy out here. McIntosh is here to help block, and then he can leak out if he needs to. But up top, it's pretty much the same route 3 times. Get past the sticks and hang a right turn.
And then why is he there to block initially? They got 6-man box. You got 5 blockers in the way, or 6 blockers. He's that guy. He's got to stay there and make sure that 6th guy does not come.
Yeah, Bowers is not chipping on this, so
right.
Get as much help you can from Kenny Mack.
Right.
So here's a stunt around here that I think Xavier Trust does a really good job.
Oh, the pass pro in this play is phenomenal. It's textbook.
To Dominick Blaylock. Boom.
And the interesting part about the two most interesting parts about the play, one is the pass pro. It's phenomenal. And it's, by the way, and for the most part, Stetson's one of the least pressure quarterbacks in the country thus far. Now, a lot of that has to do with how they run their offense. But when it's been just true pass block sets, they have done a phenomenal job of pass blocking. Run blocking, different story. But the other thing is the attention that Bowers commands and understanding the attention that – because what did – earlier in the game, and we're going to show that on a different one, but Stetson threw the howitzer in the middle of the field to Bowers on this same play, very similar play.
Great word.
And look at that right linebacker. Instead of flowing into that passing lane to get in the way for Blaylock, his head sees Bowers and he sort of feels and works his way back to the middle of the field because of Bowers. Right there. So this guy, he sees Bowers. Look at his head, his eyes right there on Bowers. And he's like, uh-oh, Brock's coming inside. I need to peel back a little bit. Well, what's that leave? That leaves a much bigger throwing lane for Stetson to work with. By the time he's gotten his eye, see him sort of working in the middle, and boom, on time, ball's out before his head's around. Just great execution.
Now, yes, this was a completion to Blaylock. It also would have been a completion to McConkey out here if it thrown to the right spot. But in this particular case, take the shorter throw.
Path of least resistance. Always
take the shorter throw. Give the defense less time to react.
And this is. One of the things I've always liked about watching Dom Blaylock play receiver is the feel. The feel right there to know that now he doesn't break the tackle, but he cuts the right way. Like it's catch, and I know that guy's going to be on my left shoulder, so I'm going to turn back to the outside like that. Like he has very good feel for the receiver position. And I think you're going to see him get more and more reps and or potential targets as the season goes on.
This is what you're saying. When his feet hit the ground, what you're seeing are shoulders and hips turning to the outside, seeing if he can, if this tackler slips off here, well, then you have McConkey as a good blocker. If he can just get in the way here, who knows? Like, it's just good instincts that maybe this turns into a big play.
Yep.
Definitely doesn't if, you come to the ground and aren't thinking that way. So, Coach Donnan has been saying Blaylock is reliable. Get him in there more. Georgia's going to need him. And I think we saw that from him and Karis Jackson in this game.
Yes. And, knock on wood, he hasn't had a drop in his career. No, catches the football.
You just cursed him.
I did. But I'm just a random guy on YouTube talking about him not having any drops. I put it on the vent earlier today. So.
What else did you see in pass pro here? Because it was Trust that caught my eye that he helps and then releases to catch the stunt.
That's exactly it's boom, pass it off, work. Your tackles are doing work. Your interior guys are just playing,
always
playing
good
defense.
Always good when the lineman's facing the sideline, right?
Yes.
Eyes completely away from the quarterback.
Broderick's been actually phenomenal at left tackle in pass pro. McClendon's been really good in pass pro. This was the first game that Mims struggled in pass pro. That play to Bowers we're going to show in another video. Like that was a struggle bus for him on that one play. But that they've gotten great play from the tackles. Now it's just a matter of getting it clicking in the running game.
Randy's watching on Facebook from Tifton. We have Chris watching. We have Donnie Wilkerson watching. Derek Walker.
Good evening,
Derek and Donnie. Quite often on our YouTube chat. So thank y'all for being here. All right. So overall, I get like maybe this play didn't seem that appealing on its surface, but just where Stetson Bennett has gained the confidence of Todd Monken and the offense, and that I think is viewed as he can be a drop back quarterback. He can be a quarterback on the run, as we've seen with rushing touchdowns in most every game this year.
Actually, every game, right?
It is every game this year. Stetson Bennett is a do-it-all quarterback, which is a complete reputation change from what he was in 2020 and 2021 and 2022. Like this is Stetson Bennett's really, really, really good. And Georgia's offense can go a long way with him. Even a game that had a ton of errors, and we'll get to it in our full offensive video, they 500 yards essentially in 39 points. It's not too shabby for an offense.
So now, Dayne, through 3 weeks or 4 weeks now, 4 games, when you look at overall grade, passing and rushing grade from QB perspective, he's 4th in the Power 5.
There you go.
He's playing phenomenally well.
That dog will hunt for Georgia. We will end this with a great comment from Stan, who says, "I'm checking in from Hotel Indigo, lobby bathroom, 3rd stall." Thanks, Stan. I hope the volume's all the way up, and I hope there are other people in there. And tell them to watch Film Don't Lie.
There should always be music. There should always be music in public restrooms.
I mean, if people want to play our voices in public restrooms, I'm fine with it. It's fantastic. That means that we're a hit because you only consume content that's super meaningful to you when you're in the John.
Yes, 100%.
That's what I think. That was, in the newspaper in past generations. If we replace that for the modern digital media, I'm great with that.
I think that's very social media promotion for the show. I think.
Yep. He says, "Thanks for covering my bowel movements. Do you
Hope
need me to
everything
talk
works
a
out
little
all right."
louder for you?" We're usually talking about bowl game movements, and this is bowel game. All right.
Awesome.
Anyway,
Awesome.
so bad toilet puns here. Stan, thanks for watching. I hope you're well.
Yes.
If not, send a message and we'll get some help out to you.
Yes.
That was our. I don't even know how to transition this. That was our play of the game: Georgia versus Kent State. Pass from Stetson Bennett to Dominick Blaylock. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time here on Film Don't Lie from UGAsports.com.